In a channel first, we are taking on the same person, one video after the other. Last Friday's Flat Earth Friday saw Owen Benjamin's anti-globe rant shut down, and today he is back, and this time he's going after the moon. Hello all and welcome to another episode of Tinfoil Tuesday with me, Simon Dan. Thank you very much for joining me. Yes, in the week of the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 11 moon landings, Owen streamed about the moon and his belief that we didn't go. Dressed in a NASA white coat, Owen's personal incredulity goes into overdrive as he misunderstands more and more. Let's join him midstream.
Yeah, there's no moon. No moon. Oh, cringe. No, there's no moon.
So Owen doesn't even believe that there is a moon. So how do you explain the big bright thing in the sky then?
That isn't a moon. That isn't a moon. Like, that's obviously not a moon.
Oh yeah, obviously. Why don't you enlighten us as to why, Owen?
It's a perfect sphere with perfect circular craters that rotates exactly at the same speed as Earth, so you only see one side because of something called tidal forces that you can't explain.
Except I did explain on Friday, and also showed that there are more than just circular craters. I'll leave the link for Friday's episode in the description.
It's not real. It has a 70-mile shadow, which does, and then people just say umbra, and then everyone goes, okay, umbra. There's no moon.
Wow, he really believes this, doesn't he?
No tides on the Great Lakes. The sky is for signs and keeping time. Exactly.
Tides do occur on the Great Lakes. The tidal range, though, is very small, less than 5 centimetres, so not really very noticeable.
Then there's also no sun, earth, and planets don't exist. You're banned? No, that's a valid question. Just work through it. Like, really think about it.
Oh, here we go.
The moon doesn't act at all. Like, if there was really the sun shining off the lunar surface and it's made out of dust like a kitty box, it wouldn't be so bright that it lights up the night and you can read. In the Bible, it's called a lesser light.
Okay, but it's not made of kitty litter. It's called regolith, and it reflects light in a very unique way. The lunar regolith is composed of a vast amount of different sized and shaped particles that tends to reflect light directly back from where it came from.
During an eclipse, it wouldn't have a 70-mile shadow. It's impossible for a shadow to be smaller than the object.
You were saying, Owen?
Umbra, that's not a real thing. That's not a real word. You've never seen one in your life ever. Someone just said that.
Here is one. And would you look at that? Earth's shadow.
Well, the sun's bigger. No, it isn't. It's 400 times farther away, 400 times larger. So it's exactly the same given the perspective. Theory of relativity, it's relative to your position.
Owen gives himself away a little bit here. Let's hear that again.
Theory of relativity, it's relative to your position.
That is absolutely not what the theory of relativity is. And the fact that he's trying to use it to help his case is amazingly ironic. Shall we tell him that the theory of relativity explains gravity, something which he doesn't believe in?
And it's not even any of those things anyway. That's all nonsense. Well, I mean,
Are you okay, mate?
Guys, you think that really you only see one side of a spinning sphere because it spins at exactly the same speed as the Earth for no reason? And that's not observable anywhere else, and it makes no sense?
Actually, tidal locking has been observed all over the solar system. In fact, it would be easier to come up with a list of the moons we found that aren't tidally locked.
The moon rocks they brought back all had brass or they were petrified wood. Well, that means there's wood on the moon. I have a much better explanation. They never went to the moon because they realized they couldn't go to the moon because it doesn't exist. The moon isn't real.
Okay, as far as I'm aware, there's only ever been one moon rock found to be petrified wood. The one that was found in the Dutch Prime Minister's belongings after his death. If you actually looked into it properly, you will find that the Dutch Prime Minister's family found the petrified wood with his belongings, along with a NASA card, put 2 and 2 together and got 33.
It has a 28-day cycle, just like every woman's menstrual cycle in the world. It's a lesser light. It shines. It's the night light. That's what my wife calls it. It's just a night light. She's so nice and awesome. What speed should it spin at? Any speed that isn't the identical. Bear in mind, okay, you know how like if a clock gear or something, let's say it's 1.00001 seconds per click. That error will keep magnifying over time.
Of course it will, but tidal locking doesn't go from synchronization to out of sync. It's the other way round. And you said it, Owen. Over time, huge amounts of time, a moon becomes tidally locked. And as I've said, it's happened many, many times in the solar system.
You know, your errors, when you divide your error, it becomes smaller. That's why you go big and you make a micro out of it. If you have like an error in a second and you magnify that to 60 and then to another 60 and then to 24 and then 365 and a quarter and blah, blah, blah. One tiny, a half a mile an hour difference would slowly rotate. You would see the other side of the moon. The fact it's the identical speed of the Earth, there's no natural explanation for that at all. Tidal forces, that doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything to you, Owen. But that doesn't mean it's not true.
If you have something spinning on an axis with a center of gravity in the middle, tidal force, it wouldn't be lopsided. That doesn't make any sense. And there would always be a wobble and there would always be a slight spin. There's nothing about that that makes sense.
Actually, the moon does wobble. It's called libration. But it doesn't wobble for the reasons you think. It just appears to. You know, theory of relativity and all that. Due to the elliptical nature of the moon's orbit, the plane of its orbit and our own observing position, it is possible to see around 59% of the moon's surface over the course of its cycle. Obviously, we only see 50% of the surface at any one time, if the face is full, of course, but during its cycle we can see slightly more.
The lumens of brightness on the moon would not be the same all the way across. A sphere does not do that. If you shine a light on a ball, it's different amounts of light hitting the ball based on what curve. You know, because the way light works is it bounces off an object and it hits your eye, and that's how you see an object. If it's a ball, light will bounce in all directions. The most will come right in the center, and it'll slowly get less bright on the edges.
In this demo, is your light source a giant nuclear reactor? Does your ball have regolith on it? No? No to both? Right.
The moon is exactly the same brightness throughout the whole moon. That's a two-dimensional phenomenon, not a three-dimensional phenomenon. Oh, you're just crazy. Everything I'm saying makes sense.
Making sense to oneself doesn't necessarily mean that we're all on board, Owen.
Everything. I don't know what it is, but I know what it isn't. It's not a spinning moon.
Well, there's an oxymoronic sentence if I've ever heard one.
It's not an orbiting sphere. The odds that it's exactly 400 times smaller and 400 times closer and that it lines up like two metal cut quarters, machine cut right on each other to make an eclipse where the shadow is only 70 miles. Impossible, impossible, impossible. All of it's impossible.
I start a football game thinking it's impossible for us to lose, and yet most weeks we lose. Owen goes off on an evolution tangent again, but then gets a comment from his chat which makes him give us his own theory.
And it's a beautiful world to live in, but like it's the amount of idiots And they don't have to be idiots. They choose to be idiots.
He's possibly talking about guys like me here, isn't he?
We are adapted only for Eden. Well, I have a theory. You want to just go total theory, and then I'll get out of here. I don't know. If this is just I like reporting on things I know to be false
Ah, me too. Nice.
and not take any chances, but I really do think that there's something going, that there's a portal up there.
Um,
And we aren't adapted for this world. I think we're adapted for Eden, and we lost something that protected us. You know, in Eden, we realized we were naked from the sun. I think the sun is a window into heaven, like a window into like how much light is up there near God. And we burn in it now because we ate from the tree. But I don't know. That sounds like the start of something weird. I'm not proposing anything. I'm just saying that something's going on. Like, we aren't supposed to be here.
okay, having a theory is nice and all, but we are just here. There's no opinion about whether or not we should be. You should just be happy about it and enjoy life. Right, that brings this episode of Tinfoil Tuesday to a surprising close. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed that, please do like and subscribe. I have been Simon Dan. Have a great week, and I'll see you all on Friday, where it's the return of D Marble. See you then.